Good evening, everyone. Welcome back to Real Reds Talk. And Jadon Sancho has been axed from the United squad. Loads of stuff coming out about this at the minute. This isn't the only thing that's going on. There's so much stuff going on with United at the moment. It's hard to keep up what dramas, fucking what. Do you know what I mean? I described United as an omnibus because it feels like there's an ever-present, routine and drama going on there. There's just something next. If it's not Anthony, it's Greenwood, not Greenwood. Sancho, if it's not Sancho, it's something else. It's the Glazers takeover. If it's not that, it's something else. It's just constant shit upon shit upon shit upon shit. It's like just a roller coaster. You never know if it's going to be a high or a low. But this is the new story at the moment. Jadon Sancho axed from the squad. I'm going to dive into the details of that because I think there's a few interesting reports coming out. Pelestri's time to shine. Does that mean he's available to start? Will he start against Brighton? I want to discuss that with you lot. Mason Greenwood is set to get his debut for Getafe, and Amrabat is available. It seems like he's available for Brighton as well. But I just want to start with this story first. So Jadon Sancho will remain on a personal training program away from the first team group pending resolution of a squad discipline issue. Apparently, he was asked to apologise to Erik ten Hag, and that's why United have taken this course of action because he refused to apologise. James Ducker from the Telegraph reporting Jadon Sancho's outburst both stunned and infuriated ten Hag and has left Sancho facing an uncertain future at Manchester United. Is this the end of Jadon Sancho's career, which hasn't been a glittering career? He's going to be working away from his teammates, just with the academy facilities. And for a £70 million player, you kind of questioning, thinking, that's got to be it, right? Surely that's got to be it. A report about ten Hag feeling badly let down by Sancho, given the lengths that he went to last season to try and help kickstart his career. And then Sancho puts this tweet out, which has just obviously made mega news. So it's not great. It's not a great situation. You can't buy a player from Dortmund like that with such talent, bring him to the club, and it just doesn't work at all. And then you have these situations where he's not turning up for training on time. Is frosty in certain bits. I know Chive, we had on the channel last night, was saying some people are just naturally like that. They're not always open to be doing interviews and stuff. And that's fine. If you are a reserved character, that's absolutely fine. But turning up to training isn't fine at all. And having inconsistent performances isn't fine. You're talking about Manchester United, one of the biggest clubs on the planet. And whether you're £70 million or £10 million, or whether you're on 350k a week or you're on 5k a week, that needs to be addressed 100%. That's the big question. Is this the end of Jadon Sancho's career at Manchester United? Because it's pretty significant, isn't it? It feels like he's going to be sat in the reserves now. That's another thing for the media to talk about, by the way, for the next fucking God knows how long he's going to be in there for. But it feels like he's just going to be in the reserves until he either stops being stubborn and apologises. And knowing Jadon Sancho the way it's going, he's probably just going to sit there and be like, you know what, I'm not bothered. I'll go somewhere in January. I'll go Saudi Arabia in January, or I'll go do that. Like, it's just a nightmare, innit? It's an absolute nightmare. Also, what happens with the right wing position for Brighton? Do you start Pelistri? And what about the future games after that? Because we don't know how long the Anthony situation is going to take. So it's all good. Everyone will say, play Pelistri. He's earned his chance. He's decent. This is what he's good at, blah, blah, blah. And that's absolutely fine. But going to Bayern Munich, Erik ten Hag wouldn't have thought, all right, well, Pelistri is going to be a starter. Do you know what I mean? What I think he's actually going to do is play Rashford on the right and Garnacho on the left, which then you're taking Rashford away from his best position and on the right-hand side, which he doesn't really like. So Jadon Sancho finally gets this opportunity of window where he could actually start for United and start getting some consistent minutes because this situation is going on with Anthony and he's too stubborn to apologise to get a start. So I'm sorry, mate, but that's your own fault. It's just a simple apology. Happened with Marcus Rashford. He apologised for being late. They sorted the issue. He brought him on at halftime against Wolves, and he got a goal. Do you know what I mean? Surely you could have taken that as an example. Say, you know what? I fucked up. It is what it is. I apologise. Look, I'll be back. I'll be back training hard. I'll be back on time again. Don't worry about it. But obviously, clearly, he thinks he's above that. It's clear to me, discipline, regardless of your thoughts on the player or other players, discipline is above everything at this club with Erik ten Hag. And that, for me, is the headline. That is the perfect headline for me. That is exactly what we need. Because we've had disciplinary issues with Ronaldo, disciplinary issues with Sancho, Garnacho, Sancho, Rashford, loads of other players. Loads of players have had a back and forth with ten Hag, it feels like, since he's come in. And he's always come out on top. So, you have to take, what's the saying? You have to not take your meal and eat it. I can't remember what it is, but you know what I'm trying to say. Anyway, everyone get your thoughts in the comments section. I'm going to read out some now and let me know your thoughts on Jadon Sancho. And if you think Pellistri will start against Brighton at the weekend, I can see a Brighton fan in the chat already, so I'll get into that in a second. But make sure you leave a like on the video for us. Let me just have your cake and eat it. That was it, Anonymous Mango. Can always rely on a mango to help us out there. So let's see what everyone's saying. Let's have a look. Evening, mate. No way back for Sancho now, says Anonymous Mango. He will leave in Jan or summer. Done and Dusted says Shambles FC. Isn't Statement FC trending on Twitter at a minute? I'm pretty sure I've seen that. Statement FC trending on Twitter in regardless, because statement about Greenwood, statement about Anthony, statement about Sancho. We've actually got more statements than clean sheets, I think. I saw something like that, or goals. It's embarrassing. Really, really is embarrassing for the club. Simon Davis, evening. Uncertainty is a funny thing, but Eric Ten Hag is the manager for United, and I'm a blue. There's a lot more of these issues, believe me, within, sorry. Dan Everton says either play Pellistri or move Rashford to the right and then Garnacho on the left. I don't want Rashford on the right, though. His best position is that I think he will do that, but I wouldn't want to do that. Give Pellistri a chance and put Rashford out on the left. Bring Garnacho on as an impact sub because he's better as an impact sub, in my opinion. Anyway, Neo, I can't say the second name, sorry, but Neo says, I think Mount will be on the right wing and Rashford on the left. I don't think Mason Mount's back for Brighton, though. I think he'll be back for the Bayern Munich game. So what do you do for Brighton? Simon Days is saying the modern day Fergie. I mean, in terms of discipline, he certainly is. Fergie wouldn't have had this shit back in the definitely wouldn't have had this shit back in the day. And he's done it with numerous players himself, regardless of how talented you are. Scoreboard says he'll do a Maguire sit on his ass getting 300k a week until his contract runs out. I think that is what you're after, Nick. I mean, the statement that I mean. So, yeah, look, Jadon Sancho, it looks like it's a long way back for him at the minute. People are always kind of waiting for something from him, weren't they, to kind of hit that mark, that what we saw from Borussia Dortmund. But even when you look at references back to his Dortmund days and even at Man City as well, where Pep was like happy to get rid, he was saying he was scapegoated at Dortmund, but then people at Dortmund report saying, sometimes with training he'd be a bit funny. He wouldn't want to join in certain things. And then you're hearing stuff coming out from Manchester United that the coaches and Eric Ten Hag aren't happy with them as well. So there's clearly an issue with application. There's something going on there. And United aren't happy with it. I think the bigger picture to this, when you just take your mind away from Jadon Sancho, is stopping player power here. How many players have we had where we've had to deal with this off the pitch? Let's just name them together. Pogba, Ronaldo, Lingard, Sancho, Alexis Sanchez, Di Maria, Greenwood, Antony, Wan-Bissaka, Martial. That's off the top of my head. They're the players I can think of that we've had personal issues to deal with. I think Wan-Bissaka's was like I can't remember what it was. It was something to do with a car, I think. Brandon Williams doing balloons in the car. Now, I'm sure this happens at other clubs in a much smaller kind of sample. But how many situations have we had like this? It's unbelievable when you're reading stuff every single week about your club. It's actually embarrassing, to be honest. To sit here and talk about it as a fan, it's embarrassing because everyone's going, mate, your club, what the fuck is going on there? People coming up to you saying, what's, mates of yours that are over, like rival fans saying, what is going on at your club? It's a drama. You're turning into Oprah. It's crazy. Absolutely crazy. The issue is as well, when you're buying players, a lot of them players in the Woodward era as well, the ones who I mentioned, like your Di Marias, and then a couple others as well, they were bought for shirt sales. They were bought because the social media presence. They were bought because of other things rather than their consistent ability on the pitch. So when you bring personalities and characters like that to the club and you put them in an absolute engine that is Manchester United, it propels them to a certain status and they think they're better than what they actually are. How many players have there? We literally could have a starting 11 of players who think that, player power FC, let's call it, a starting 11. Get any more? If I've missed any players there, get any more in the comments because I'm sure there's loads of them that I can't remember some off the top of my head. It's crazy. It's absolutely crazy. It seems like we are not doing our due diligence when we're scouting, looking at the background, looking at certain things because evidence is there on Sancho. Evidence is there on other players as well who we've brought in. So not great at all. Brighton 11, Onana, Wan-Bissaka, Lindelof, Martinez, Delo, Casemiro, McTominay, Bruno, Eriksson, Rashford and Højlund. That probably won't be too far away. Do you think Bruno on the right and Eriksson is a 10? Is that what you're going for there? McTominay into the midfield. I don't know if McTominay will play. personally. Lou said he was shit from day one, and Sam used to call me negative. Get rid. Yep, you're absolutely spot on with that. Amy Rourke saying, howdy, everyone. I wore a hole in my Sancho. Sancho is foolish, says Amy. Dan Everton says, but in all honesty, if Sancho said sorry and everything's all good, where would you play him? Struggled to get on the right. Doesn't like playing there. He'll never get on the left and won't. That's the issue. Eric Ten Hag has tried Jadon Sancho as a 10. And it looked relatively decent against Leicester for 45 minutes. Tried it again in the game after. Didn't look right. He's tried him as a false 9 in pre-season, but then didn't start him as a false 9 during when the season actually kicked off. He's tried him on the left, but obviously you got Marcus Rashford, who's better. As simple as that. And is our main important and was our main goal scorer last year. And then Antony, he brought in for 85 million, who that's his guy. So you're never going to start over him. But the way you get into that squad is by opportunities like this now, that small window that you've got for a couple of weeks to prove yourself that you can be at that level to play there consistently. And he's fucked it up. So that's your opportunity gone, mate. Someone else is going to take that opportunity. A Palestra is going to take that opportunity. If Ahmad wasn't injured, he'd probably take that opportunity as well. So he's completely messed that up. Completely messed it up. Anonymous Mango says, yeah, Bruno on the right wing, Ericsson in 10. Brian Casey's in the chat. Big up to Brian, who is a Real Red Ultra member. If you want to become a member and check out the video I did on Palestra, click the join button next to the notification bell. It's like $3 per month. You get exclusive content every single week, a badge next to your name, and a chance to feature on the show as well when we hit that famous 22 mark. Brian is saying, evening, Nick, yet another day of drama. Great time to be a United fan. We said on the show yesterday, me, Chivet, and Shreyas all said on the show, we guarantee within the next couple of days there will be something big coming out of Manchester United that is just drama. And here it is. Here it is. Let alone the Maguire shit that's circulating in the media at the minute. You've got Mason Greenwood making his debut at Getafe, which I want to talk about shortly as well. So, oh, God, United, being a United fan, it's crazy. David Harrington said, just popped up on Sky that Ten Hag wants Sancho to say sorry before he can return. I'm dumbfounded that he hasn't already apologised. Exactly, David. Exactly. Why is he not? It's just a simple apology. Say, look, Gaffer, I've turned up late. I shouldn't have put that tweet out. It is what it is. People were calling out Eric Ten Hag for calling him out in public, but what else can Ten Hag do to try and get something out of him? He sent him off to the mountains to go do his thing on that individual training program. Everyone was expecting him to come back fit, raring to go, looking decent, and he didn't do that. He came back and he still looked sluggish. He's not fit enough. He plays like 60 minutes and he looks like Eriksen in the 60th, 70th minute. Dragging his ass, not tracking back enough, not as intense as you want him. So I don't see him fitting into the squad anyway. I really, really don't. Red Devils TV's in the chat. Big up to Red Devils TV. Absolute legend in the cut. What's everyone saying in TikTok as well? I can hardly see the comments because I've got a white hoodie on and a white background. Eric Ten Hag would drop Antony if Sancho was doing everything Antony does, performing going forward. I think that's an interesting point. United are a banter club. Yeah. If Mount's not back, play Palestra. Lee says, love Ollie, but he created player power. Now Ten Hag is looking bad trying to install discipline. Has to be done though, doesn't it? Vincent Bullock is in the TikTok saying hi. Hello to Vincent. Another winger shit on by the club. Shit on by the club? How's the winger shit? I don't understand that. I don't know how he's shit on the club, but no, I'm not having that. This is on Sancho. This isn't on Eric Ten Hag. Anyone who's giving Ten Hag shit about this, then what do you want? Do you want all the players in charge? This happened when Mourinho was here with bloody Pogba, that back and forth with Paul Pogba. This has happened numerous times before. And all they're going to Solskjaer as well, just let players walk all over him, basically. And it's got to that point now where Ten Hag's had to come in, he's had to go, Ronaldo, off you go. De Gea, off you go. Not saying De Gea had, personality issues or anything like that, but De Gea, off you go. Maguire, captaincy, stripped. Sancho, dropped. Rashford dropped for a game, but you bring it back on. He had a word with Alejandro Garnacho about his discipline as well. So this isn't just like, you have to spread the treatment equally. Otherwise, people will start pecking. You have to let them know who's in charge. If you don't, then they'll just run it like a circus. What will happen in the what happened in the Ragnick season, will continue to happen if you don't start installing this discipline. It's as simple as that. Just popped up, read that, sorry. During Arsenal game, Rashi and Garnacho kept swapping wings. Think we might see that in the coming weeks. I think he will. I want him to start Palestra. I think Palestra has earned a start every time. Let's talk about Palestra, actually. Let's talk about Palestra. Is it his time to shine? I think for Højlund specifically, one issue with our wingers, right, whether it's Garnacho, Rashford, or Antony in particular, they are very, very selfish. They are selfish. They don't like putting crosses into the box. When they get the ball, the first thought on their mind is to dribble past the player, beat a man, and get a shot off. Because Antony has like 5-6 shots a game, Rashford is similar as well. He has that kind of tunnel vision focus where he just gets on it and he has no awareness around him. You could see that in the Arsenal game where he wasn't really squaring it for Højlund. So one thing that Højlund would really appreciate is Pellistri on the right, putting crosses into the box, beating a man, drilling it across. That's what he needs. He needs service. You can't just rely on Bruno Fernandes because if teams shut him down, then where's the service coming from? There's no creativity. So that's one of the reasons why Pellistri should play. The second reason is every time I've seen him have a cameo for Manchester United, where it's been against Betis in the Europa League, whether it's been in, I don't know, a cup game against Charlton, whether it's been against Fulham, every time he's come on, he's looked the part and he's looked really, really good. And one of the frustrations with Anthony, which everybody hates, is the fact that he doesn't beat a man. He doesn't beat a man, or he'll slow an attack down. Whereas Pellistri will go right past him and he'll just do the job and get it in, a winger's job, basically, an old-fashioned winger, and get it into the box. This is opportunity. I'll be a little bit, I'm not gonna lie, I'll be a little bit disappointed in Ten Hag if he doesn't start Pellistri on the right hand side. I will be disappointed with him because I think he's earned his opportunity. People are asking about Amad Diallo on TikTok. He's injured, so he was out for 4 months from the start of the season. So we're talking August, September, October. He won't be back till November. So Amad will be back a similar time to Luke Shaw, roughly. But a shame for him as well, because I think it could have been perfect if he hadn't picked up that injury on the right wing. But that's another player as competition as well, in it, I suppose. Every cameo Pellestri's done has been great. So, yeah. Vince is saying, I sent you a rugby ball on TikTok. Thank you very much for the donation. Red Devils TV, the fact we got Pellistri for 10 million euros and hardly used him is crazy. Fans moan about us not getting these young players. We spent 200 million on right wingers. That is a lot, innit? That is a lot of fucking money. Kobe Mainu back earlier than I thought too. No, he's not wearing his protective boot anymore. He's teased his return. Well, yeah, I thought the initial reports around Kobe Mainu was that he would be back after the international break. So maybe that's back in training. I don't think he's ready to start against Brighton. But again, we'll find out in Eric Ten Hag's press conference tomorrow, which I'll be live for, by the way, at 1:30, if it is the usual time. That is going to be interesting because God knows what he should be asked about is about Brighton and how he's going to set up or what players deserve a chance or Pellistri. But the two things that he's going to dominate this press conference tomorrow at 1:30 is Harry Maguire. When's he going to start? Is he still in your plans? And blah, 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 and all this bullshit. And then Jadon Sancho as well. They'll try to get a little line out of him about Jadon Sancho just to get them clicks. They won't ask him about the game. I guarantee they'll hardly ask him about the Brighton game tomorrow. It'll just be Sancho dominated, unfortunately. Amy Rock saying, play the kids and run circles around Brighton. If only. Who was that famous man who said you can't play kids? Was it Alan Hansen? You can't win anything with kids. I'd like to see if Pellistri and Højlund can click. I agree, scoreboard. Absolutely scoreboard. 100%. Anonymous Mango says Maguire might start. Martinez is questionable. That's even more bad news, isn't it? I'd rather play Casemiro at the back than Maguire and Lindelof together, honestly. Because if one more goes out there, if Lindelof gets injured or, gets a red card, God forbid, if we've got to play the next couple of games with Maguire and Johnny Evans at the back, you might as well just end the season. End it now, please. The way the season started, you know what? I had so much ambition and passion about the start of the season and how exciting it was. And it's ruined yet again by summer transfer window, by things going on around the club. It's ruined. I can't remember the last time we had a season where we had no drama whatsoever. Last season, it was De Gea and Ronaldo and Greenwood. The season before that, you're talking about fucking the Ragnick, the Ragnick one, where Pogba was still there, Cavani was leaving, and all that kind of shit. Like, every year, there's just something for United fans to just be like, fuck me, can we not just run our club efficiently, please, for the life of me? Shocking, absolutely shocking. Would you start Amrabat? Just because I want to see him play, yes, but logistically, I don't think he will because I don't know how long he's been training with the team, if he's had enough time to get used to the team. I think Højlund was probably available to start against Arsenal, but because he hadn't trained with the team and played with them in-game before, he didn't start him. So I think there'll be a similar approach with Amrabat where he's probably on the bench. Eriksen will start the first 45 and then they'll bring Amrabat on in the second half, probably when we're getting overrun by Pascal Gross and other players in the midfield. Will you be at Old Trafford Saturday? No, I'm doing a watch-along, even though it's a 3 o'clock kickoff. I'll be doing a watch-along on Saturday for the game, so make sure you come and join me. Anonymous Mango, Ten Hag likes these players in. Yeah, it just basically said what I said, innit? I'd start Amrabat. Brighton or energy might help keep. Yeah, I would if he was, in flow with games. I would start Amrabat, but I think he'll come on as a sub. If we lose this, it's the start of a crisis. But we've got tough games coming up. We've got Brighton, Bayern Munich away, Burnley, I think, Palace in the cup, and then Palace again after that. So there is some tough fixtures in there. Was Sancho predominantly a left winger or right winger at Dortmund? He played both. He played both. Yeah, he played on the right and the left. I'll have to look into it which one he played more. I think it may have been on the left because he had that partnership with Guerrero, the wing back, and he was really good at Dortmund. That's the sad thing. Really, just read that behind. Jadon Sancho was asked to apologise to Eric Ten Hag but refused. He's using the academy facilities to train, won't be considered for selection until back with the first team. Shocking, man. Absolutely shocking. Anyway, sticking with attackers and wingers and the whole theme of the show, Mason Greenwood apparently is set to make his Getafe debut this weekend. And there's been a few reports coming out from Mike Keegan about Greenwood as well, which I thought was interesting. But before I do that, sip time. So, the response to Mason Greenwood's loan arrival at Getafe has been incredibly positive from their players, fans, and staff. The players are looking out for him. Greenwood's partner has already been out with the Wags, apparently. Getafe have sold more shirts with Greenwood's name in the back in a week than they have for any player in the club's history. So, obviously, they're thinking it's worth the gamble. It seems like he's been welcomed. And I'm telling you now, I've said this since Greenwood went on loan to Getafe. If he starts bagging goals now, they will 100% bring him back. 100%. Because we need a second striker as it is anyway. They will be looking at that. They'll monitor his progress. You've already seen a couple of journalists coming out now saying, oh, there's a 5%, 10% chance that he might come back. That's going to increase as the season goes on. Højlund develops, and then they're probably thinking United will set, if the Glazers are still in charge, they'll definitely do it for sure. They will sit there and go, why spend money on a striker when Greenwood, it's been a year, things have died down. He's doing well in Getafe. He's rebuilt his life. Let's bring him back and save ourselves 70 million quid. That's what I think they'll do, genuinely. But what do we think? Do you think they'll bring him back? I don't want to start up this whole Greenwood back and forth again, but I think it's interesting because they're saying like he won't play for the club. That was the headline that came out of it. Will he not? Are you sure? I'm not so sure. Simon Davis, big up to yourself, says its infrastructure is fractured. Blame the Glazers. End off. Well, it all stems from the top, doesn't it? Ultimately, people will say you're blaming the Glazers for this and that and that and that. Everything stems from the top. Everything, the player power, the contracts, everything stems from the top. So it is them. Enjoying the Capri Sun. Hopefully, it's not cold custard. No, it's just no cold custard in this packet. I'm not that much of a savage. I like cold custard on hot desserts, and people are just going to fling all sorts of abuse at me in a minute. But I'm not savage. I won't just drink custard out of the packet or tin. You know what I mean? If he scores 15 plus goals, he'll be back. I agree, Dan. I agree. I was looking at Getafe before, and they must have been desperate for a striker. I think they finished 15th last season in the league. They're currently 14th at the minute, and they had one of the worst goal-scoring records in La Liga last season. So obviously they was desperate for him. The fans have been going mad. They've been getting pictures with him. Like, surely it's just better to keep him there. If you get 10 million out of it, a sell Greenwood 10, 20 million, whatever it is, there's going to be people in the TikTok and people in the YouTube saying, I want to bring him back, I want to keep him. That's your opinion. That's fine. I'm just saying, me personally, I wouldn't do it. But I think he will start bagging goals. I do. Glazers aren't to blame. The people they have employed for good money are. But that's like saying, if I've got £1,000 in my pocket and I give it to my 3-year-old cousin and say, go to the shop and make sure you get everything that's on this list, are they going to come back with everything on the list? Or are they going to come back with just fucking packets of Monster Munch and shit like that? Then you can't say, oh, well, it's not the guy's fault for giving them the money. It's the people who are spending it. But why are they leaving him in charge then? Why did you leave Ed Woodward in charge for fucking 10 years? Because he benefited them commercially and lined the pockets with money. That's why. They haven't put a penny into this club. For anyone who's watching, actually, if you haven't watched, I know a few of you have already who are in the chat. I did a video on the Glazers, 18 years of neglect. It's a 20-minute video, and it's a timeline from when they first arrived at the club to when they left, and every bit of money that they've taken out, and all the other incidents on top of that, e.g. the Super League and other bits. So please do go and check that out, because a lot of work went into that. And I believe it's a good video. It's one of the best videos that we've done. So yeah, the club is rotten from top to bottom. Yes, yes, it is. Well, it's to be honest, I think Ten Hag's the right manager. I really, really do. I think if Ten Hag had a competent board ahead of him and got his number one targets, I think we would be on the right track. A lot of people were worried about the start of the season because the way how open the midfield was. But even Ten Hag said himself in the press conference interview, he said it wasn't even necessarily the midfield. It was the fact that the back line wasn't squeezing up high enough and the attackers weren't pressing properly. So the pressing patterns were broken and people were just cutting right through us. So when your back line and forward line aren't in conjunction with your midfield, the gaps appear everywhere. Also, Casemiro had a bit of a slow start to the season as well, so that never really helps. But that is one of the reasons why. I think once we get everybody fit and playing on a consistent basis, I'm talking like you have your starting 11 in Onana, Wan-Bissaka, Varane, Lissandro, Shaw as your back five consistently. That's a great platform to build off. Your midfield, if you can integrate Amrabat with Casemiro alongside him and get them working together and really form some unity and a partnership there, I think that could blossom really well with Bruno Fernandes just like spearheading that. With, you know what? Whilst I mentioned Bruno Fernandes, I have cut it off there. Rashford, probably Anthony when he comes back, and then Højlund as your front three. But just on the midfield, Bruno Fernandes, right? I put a reel up before. I put a short, a TikTok, and a reel up before of Bruno Fernandes has the most expected assist this season so far. And people are expected. What you on about? But that means nothing. Next, it'll be expected trophies and blah, 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 and all that, right? So people are obviously taken out of context. But the reason why I put it out was Bruno is doing his job at the minute. He's creating the most chances, the most expected assist. It's the fact we haven't had a number 9. Obviously, Højlund's only just come in now and played for 30 minutes. But we haven't had a regular number 9 there to finish off those chances, or our wingers are just missing. Only Marcus Rashford has scored 1 goal so far this season. That's our only scoring attacker. That tells you everything you need to know. So that's why I was putting out there in terms of context towards that. That was my only point I was making. But obviously, Liverpool fans and Arsenal fans and all these kind of guys want to jump on it and they want to go, what do you mean expected, blah, blah, blah. Idiots. Panic buys, but Erik Ten Hag's really making the decisions. If you look at that last day of the window, when we signed, was it Bayern Day, Amrabat, Reguilon, and I'm sure there was someone else as well. The season before, you had the whole Arnautovic and Rabiot situation, and then we went and got Casemiro and Antony. Some of the windows on the roller go to Solskjaer. You look at Cavani, Igalo, Donny van der Beek. Like, recruitment is just shit. It's absolutely shit. We need a proper sporting director. I wish Ragnick would have stayed. Someone put a comment in before about Ragnick saying open heart surgery. I saw it. I missed it. I don't know who it was or who put it, but I saw the comment. Open heart surgery. It was done and dusted. Just seen it. Sorry. Ragnick was absolutely spot on in his assessment of Manchester United, and the board above him didn't like it because he was probably hurt the feelings because they probably sat there thinking, "Fucking hell, he's right. He's absolutely spot on." When he said that we needed to remove 10 players, everyone was like, "No, not fans, but the people at the board were probably like 10 players. What are you smoking, mate?" It's true. It's true. Ten Hag needs to bring in players that have the right identity that fit the bill, and you're talking like a full 11 pretty much to get him to play how he wants them to play. Because we still have shit in this team. We still have Deadwood in this team. It's crazy. Everyone slags Maguire, but look at United. Excuse me. Ronaldo, Sancho, Maguire. Perhaps Ten Hag is the issue. Oh, God. Ten Hag is not the issue. He is not the issue. If you drop Maguire, does anyone disagree with him dropping Maguire? No. Does anyone disagree with him dropping Sancho for what's happened? The majority would probably say no. Does everyone agree that Ronaldo probably had to go? Yes. So how is it Ten Hag's fault? Question me that, if you will. We've got 15 people in the chat on YouTube. Please do subscribe to the channel if you are new around here, and please do subscribe if you're on the TikTok. Sorry, the link is in the description. The last thing I wanted to talk about was Amrabat, but people have already kind of mentioned that, so it's kind of is what it is. Let me just cross that off there. So James Ducker from the Telegraph's reporting there is hope Sofyan Amrabat will be involved for Man United's game against Brighton. How important could he be in the midfield when you're talking about games like Bayern Munich going away there? The last thing you want coming up against Goretzka, Kimmich, Musiala in your midfield is Eriksen alongside Casemiro. Eriksen's great for what he does on the ball. Off the ball, he's shocking. So maybe he will play Eriksen for 45, Amrabat for 45 against Brighton. And then the Bayern Munich game, that's when you really want him alongside Casemiro, just in my personal opinion. But yeah, I think he's going to go with Eriksen, introduce Amrabat slowly later on. Yeah, while the Glazers are there, we're never going to challenge for anything major. Simon Davis says the new broom will sweep clean, but he needs time. I love that. What a comment that is. Like I said to you the other day, whilst Erik ten Hag's doing well, the Glazers will not leave. As long as he gets United into the Champions League, then the Glazers will not leave. Number one in the team, Mount Anthony, 150 million, lost a lot of money. That is a lot of money in it. A lot of fucking money. Yeah, God knows where this next cycle spin episode of soap drama goes with United. I guarantee it. What we're on Thursday today, between now and when we play Brighton at 3:00, there is going to be another drama unfolding. Maybe a development in that Anthony case. Maybe Sancho posts something else on social media. Maybe Maguire posts something on social media. Something will come out because this is just the club at the minute. It's hectic. It's scattergun. It's all over the place. It really, really is. I just want to focus on football, to be honest, and focus on winning games. But it's impossible to do that when you have so many things going on around the club. The takeover, Anthony, Greenwood, this situation with Sancho now as well. Probably other things that I'm forgetting. Do you know what? The Glazers will be sat there in their office now on the leather couch with their feet on the marble table, not giving a bollocks about this club whatsoever. Just emailing or ringing up saying, okay, did we get Champions League? Uh-huh. Okay, all right. Thanks for that. Boom. And that's it then for the next year. So stuff like Joe Glazer likes to get involved with everyday running of the club and stuff. Really, because when that thing came out about Greenwood, they didn't want their fucking name tied to that. They didn't want their name anywhere near it. Same with Anthony. Same thing with a load of other stuff. The only one United when it benefits them, and that's obviously for money. The fact they've managed to drag this on now for nearly a year, and they're probably going to drag it on for another year, it just speaks volumes of how probably the shittest, definitely the shittest owners in the Premier League, and one of the shittest owners of all time. All stems from the top, guys. All stems from the top. Chin up, shoulders backs. Troy, what was that? I can't see that because I love art. Oh yeah, that's it. Troy Hawk. Chin up, shoulders back, smash it. Oh, what a guy. What a guy he is. That's the geezer who waits outside. Weatherspoon's in it. Oh, your eyes are eyes of a woodland creature. They make Mike Ashley look awesome. Shreya saying, I still remember them saying CR7 came through our academy. Yeah, he was doing an interview with, was it, not an interview. He was doing like, Avram Glazer of all people was doing like a speech. Was it to like NFL community or something like that? And he was like, I remember when Cristiano Ronaldo joined the club at the age of 16. It was like, Avram, that didn't happen, mate. That didn't happen. But obviously in his head, he obviously thought it did. Needed to be done, otherwise Erik ten Hag loses all control, says Ryland. I agree. A full 11, he's signed 10 plus, spent 60 million on Mount. When you can get better for 20 million, who's better player for 20 million? Please explain. A full 11 he's signed. No. Players in the team right now that are his. Onana, he signed. Okay. Wan-Bissaka, he didn't sign. Varane, he didn't sign. Luke Shaw, didn't sign. Bruno Fernandes, didn't sign. Marcus Rashford, he didn't sign. So there's still 5, 6, 7 players there that he didn't sign. I'm talking about imprinting your stamp on a team. Look at how long Pep's had with Man City. Look at how long Jurgen Klopp has had with Liverpool. Lou started a poll saying, is Avram a rat? Please do answer that. I can see where that poll's going. Yesterday, Mick Ashley already read that. Dan's in the chat. Big up to Dan saying Jadon Sancho is training away from the United team after refusing to apologise to ten Hag. Sancho will be using the club's academy. Yeah, we kind of already touched on that, but thank you, Dan, for putting that in anyway. Appreciate it. So yeah, that's where we're at with United in a minute. Just a quick recap to go through everything that I've spoken about for people just joining. We spoke about Jadon Sancho being dropped and what lies for him in the future, and the bigger picture as well with the type of players that we're recruiting. Does scouting needs to be more efficient? Well, it does. Will Pellistri get a start, or will they go with Rashford and Garnacho? Find out what the lads think in the Brighton preview tomorrow. What else we discussed? Mason Greenwood to make his Getafe debut on Saturday, I think it is, and they're at home. So I think there'll be a lot of eyeballs on that. And will Amrabat start against Brighton? as well. Interesting times for Manchester United. Of course, if anything else goes live, I will go live. I'm right here. So turn on that notification bell so you do not miss a thing. Subscribe to Real Red Talk, please. If you haven't already, please do consider it. Just the button at the bottom right-hand corner of your screen. And drop us a follow on socials as well. I'm live on TikTok right now, but we also have Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook as well. So whatever social media platform you use, please do check it out. Real Red Talk over on there. We drop 2, 3 reels every single day. We're live twice a day as well, so it's content. And to be honest with you, it's driving me a bit bonkers at the minute, because it's a lot of stuff to keep up with at the club. But this is what we're here for. We're here to report. We're here to talk about it. And yeah, evening to Dave, who's in the chat, who's always joining the TikToks. Appreciate you, brother. Considering United don't really have one, I don't know what you're alluding to there, but yeah, it is what it is. Appreciate every single one of you guys. Like I said, please do check out the Glazers video that I did the other day. That's on the channel. It was a pre-recorded video. It's called 18 Years of Neglect. And let me know your thoughts on it. There's some nice comments on it already. And yeah, we'll be live again tomorrow, 12 o'clock. No, sorry, 1:30 for the Ten Hag press conference. And then I'll be live at 7 o'clock for the Brighton can't even speak, for the Brighton preview as well at 7. So make sure you check that out. And then a live watch along for Brighton on Saturday. So hopefully I've not missed anything there. Appreciate all of you, really, really do, for taking time out of your day to watch this content. And yeah, let's see what the next kind of story, or yeah, when it unfolds. We go again. Take care, everyone. Appreciate all of you. Peace. Nice one, guys. Drop us a follow on TikTok.